Hey everyone, so in this video you're going to be seeing some past war film from the previous cross-regional war, but I'm not actually talking about this war. So what I want to approach you guys about in this video is about WoC 3, or more specifically regarding how there's no checks on any of the accounts. And what I mean by that is that last time we had WoC 2, there were sweeps throughout all the regions and all the factions in order to find players who were not complying with the TOS of a game, or specifically, they were cheating. Now, I really don't like cheaters. I feel like fairness is very important, and it has always been an important aspect to my life and kind of who I am as a person. I like when things are fair, when things are on even ground, and whenever someone cheats, it's not just cheating, scopely or cheating the game. It's cheating your fellow players, the people who play this game with a lot of honesty and play with integrity. Like, if throughout my life, I have struggled with accepting things that I don't feel like I deserve. I like earning what I get. And whenever I hear about people who have been cheating in the game, I try to keep my nose out of it, because you know what, it's not my circus, it's not my monkeys, it's also not my job to report people who are cheating. But whenever I see something that is suspicious, I do go through the proper channels in the game to try and report it, because I want to keep this game and the integrity of the game on a positive note. I want everyone to be on a fair playing ground. It doesn't have to be the same, because I do believe that spenders in this game deserve to have an advantage. That's what they're spending for, and I see it as, because a spender spends, I'm able to play for free. So I am very appreciative, actually, of the people who do spend on the game. It gives me an opportunity to play how I would like to play, and you know what? I can't be as competitive as a lot of players, but I do my best. I guess I just really wish that cheating or suspension waves, that they would just happen on a regular basis. Like every 3 to 4 months would be fine, because right now there's no deterrence to people cheating, to people buying from third-party sites or doing something against the TOS. There is nothing stopping them. If anything, there's just constant encouragement because of the prices of a game rising and rising and rising. But it just hurts me to know that whenever there is like a ban wave or a suspension wave, whatever you want to call it, it becomes such a huge ordeal. And that's all we have to focus on, because we see hundreds of players that do get suspended during these ban waves, or they get moved to a wave 3 region, but they're still allowed to play. And it becomes such a spectacle because it only happens like once or twice a year. Why can't it be more frequently? Why does it have to be a check that only happens every so often? I understand that it must be difficult to check all these different accounts, but it really tarnishes the integrity of a game. It makes me want to play less, because I know I'm always going to be at a significant disadvantage to the people who are buying things from a different source. I was fully expecting for another scan of accounts before WoC 3, and at first that's what I thought I was seeing when WoC qualifying players list came out and there were people missing from many different factions. I thought it was a silent ban wave, and I got intrigued, but Scopely released a formal statement saying they weren't sure why there were errors, but it was an error on their part and that they were rectifying it. They said it had nothing to do with suspensions or bans, and I kind of got sad about it again. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to see that people get banned or suspended, but I do value the integrity of this game and the fairness of it. There's a lot of planning, there's a lot of strategy that players implement, and a lot of it just seems like it doesn't count or matter when we have to play against players who have an unfair advantage. I want to implore Scopely to have another suspension wave, ban wave, another scan. I know that it might be a lot of work, and during these times of COVID-19, you might be a little short-staffed, but I think all the players in the game would appreciate seeing something done about the people who cheat and repeat offenders. Now, I know I don't speak for all the players who play this game, but I, for one, would love to see something done before WoC 3 starts. I would also love to see a sweep of accounts happen every 2 or 3 months, because what is the deterrence that stops people from cheating? There's really nothing that prevents them. There's no way to reprimand them after it's done. Instead, they and their factions are receiving these huge benefits because if they're purchasing, I don't know if you can purchase tunes or weapons or trainers or whatever else, but when you're using these things to get an advantage, one advantage in one area really transcends into other areas of the game. And from past experience, I know that these factions that have had cheaters in their factions have obviously benefited because these players have been able to help them get first in level ups, survival road, war, raids, and so on. And it might not be directly, but indirectly, by being able to contribute a little bit more or having the characters to do a little bit more. So I don't know. I would love to hear what everyone's opinion is on all of this. I would love to hear if you guys think something should be done now, if something should be done later, if everything's fine. I would love to hear what you guys think. And I hope that what I'm saying doesn't sound completely ridiculous, but I just want a fair game. I don't want people to be getting cheaper resources than others, because there are honest spenders in this game who are paying for the exact same thing as some of these other players, but the ones who are cheating and getting it from third-party users might be only paying a fraction of the amount. And if nothing is happening to these cheaters, why are these honest players paying so much more for the same product? With there being no deterrence stopping these players from continuing with cheating, and there's no deterrence that prevents players from saying, oh, well, these players are cheating and they're getting everything I'm getting, but they're getting it for a lot less. Why shouldn't I? And it really does come down to, why shouldn't I? Anyway, thank you everyone for watching and listening to my video. I know I kind of went on in this video and carried on quite a bit. I would really like to see some changes made. I would like to see a sweep of all accounts before WoC 3, and I don't just mean from the players or factions that are going to WoC 3, I mean of everyone in the game. I also still think it's kind of ridiculous that the people who have been found to have been cheating have been moved to a Wave 3 region. So I get it, like all the cheaters are in one region, but if there are any honest players in that region, if there are any new players starting out, well, you're moving these heavy buffed up players with great rosters, and they're competing against players who are just starting out. That's going to make people who are just trying to play the game, who are just starting to play the game, not want to play, because there's no way that they are going to be able to pass these other players. The only way would be if they started to either spend through third parties or spend a ton of money on a game that they are not attached to at the start. So folks, hit me up in the comment section below and let me know what your thoughts are about there not being a scam before WoC 3 so far.